which, if not controlled, can lead to dire consequences, including death. Currently, under the drug formulary, people with diabetes can get these strips free at public pharmacies. But since July, the drug service reduced the number of strips it issues, giving diabetics who are on insulin 50 for 2 months, and those who are not 50 for 6 months. Ms. Merritt says 50 are just not enough.
A lot of children are administering insulin at least 3 times a day. And they need to know what their blood sugar is, at least those 3 times a day. So you can calculate how many times a month they need to check. But at least 50 strips a month is some help.
She's also concerned that it sends mixed messages on the importance of testing.
I think the mindset has been that they're going to utilize the A1C, which can be done every 3, 4, 6 months, to monitor glucose control. But by that time, it's too late already. We, over the years, have, I would say, struggled in encouraging persons to check their blood sugars more regularly, and now it's completely changed.
Dr. Diane Brathwaite, clinical coordinator at the Diabetes Center, says self-management with the help of glucose strips is essential.
In some cases, patients come to us, they don't have any monitoring because they've run out of strips. And sometimes patients, when they don't have strips, they actually do things like cut their insulin doses because they're scared that their blood sugar is going to fall too much, or they overeat to make sure that they're going to bed with what they think is a high blood sugar, etc. I do understand, obviously, that there are financial restrictions and constraints. We have a lot of things going on in Barbados. But I think an across-the-board cut, I don't know that that is the answer.
Ms. Merritt says the Diabetes Association has so far gathered 300 signatures on a petition it is circulating. That petition was handed in to the Health Ministry and Drug Service today. Lisa Broom, CBC News.
Cancer patients will now be receiving even better treatment. Head of the pathology department at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital, Dr. Vincent Jason, says this will be done through therapeutic drug monitoring, and he was speaking to CBC at the Pathology Lab Open Day.
It means that you're seeing the drug level and the response of the drug with the patient. So you're almost like, as you give the chemotherapy, you're watching the results, and you are having an objective assessment of what you're doing, because you're looking at the levels and measurements. You're not assuming that I think this patient is doing well on this drug level. No, you're seeing the drug level per time, and you're also seeing the clinical state of this patient. So it tells you, let's move on, or let's slow down, or let's do this, and it's quite critical.
Dr. Jason says this form of treatment will make it easier for doctors to monitor the patient, especially in preparation for surgery.
The drug levels need to be measured so that there will not be overdose, or those that are not sufficient to treat the patient. So when you do the surgery and they start the chemotherapy, you just want that setting to be so easy and perfect, and so they can have the result as soon as they can.
JetBlue has started selling its new flights between Barbados and Fort Lauderdale. The service will be launched on April 28th next year. The route was first announced at the recent Caribbean Tourism Organization State of the Industry event in Curacao. JetBlue has been serving Barbados since 2009, originally launching with flights from New York's JFK Airport. The carrier recently announced the addition of its Mint service on its New York-Barbados flights. While the Barbados Institute of Management and Productivity, or BIMAP, is looking to go online to increase its earnings. This was revealed during the Institute's 43rd annual general meeting. BIMAP's Executive Director Sonia Greenwich Franklin says the online courses can be expected from 2016, and the number of courses available will increase over time.
We'll do it gradually. We'll add courses each time. We start with the more popular courses, of course, like supervisory management and accounts. We'll start with those courses that are familiar and very popular, and then we'll add the courses gradually.
Ms. Greenwich Franklin adds that BIMAP continues to increase its training, with film and video to be introduced in the coming months.
We're going to be starting training in January in film and video. And that's a big industry as well. because movies can be created, and when you pair the animation with the film and video, hey, that's an industry that Barbados really can benefit from.
Meantime, Chairman of BIMAP, Benson Straker, says the Institute has managed to reduce its expenses despite a decrease in support from the government.
The Institute, in terms of performance from a financial point of view, was able to reduce its operating expenses, albeit with reduced subsidy from the government. I think the Board of Trustees has recognized the importance of cost restraints and management itself. So as a result of that, the management has, on its own initiative as well, taken appropriate decisions to reduce expenses, whilst at the same time looking to improve its revenue capacity.
Millions of dollars have been spent in food imports for 2014, and so to help young people to retain their Barbadian culinary identity, the Agriculture is Food competition has been launched. Second Vice Chairperson of the Royal Commonwealth Society, Dr. Claire Jewett, shared the objective of the competition as she was speaking at a press conference. Dr. Jewett says this competition falls under the Sir Clifford Husbands Agricultural Challenge.
We are going to use New Zealand products, and we are going to pair them with those wonderful Barbadian products that we eat all the time, like cassava, sweet potato, yam, and breadfruit. And our talented young people are going to create some lovely dishes, and we are going to have the judging. The New Zealand High Commissioner herself will be there to have a taste. We have the distinguished chef Peter Edie, and we will be putting on a competition, but also the importance of agriculture is what we are actually highlighting.
The New Zealand High Commission, along with Caribbean Cuisine, have partnered to present this competition on November 28th at Building 11 in the Newton Industrial Park, starting at 10 a.m. The New Zealand High Commissioner to Barbados, Jan Henderson, says there is a different attitude between Barbadian children and young New Zealanders. She says agriculture is not taken seriously here in Barbados, but this competition, she hopes, will bring about a positive change in attitude towards agriculture.
Most New Zealanders are connected to the land. We don't look at the land as anything other than a way to produce high quality produce and a way to make a very good income. And it's that attitude about taking the land seriously and taking agriculture seriously that we think we can add some value to our role here in Barbados.
More news ahead, but first we want to hear from you on this question. Should government re-examine its decision to cut the number of glucose strips it offers diabetics? Text yes or no to short code 8111. We'll have the results for you by the end of our news.
Enjoy the new Fruta Apple Blackcurrant. It's bursting with fruity flavor, 100% vitamin C, plus antioxidants to boost your metabolism and immunity. Taste the new Fruta Apple Blackcurrant today. Juiced right.
What are you doing?
Nothing, just paying the credit card bills and putting some money in our house account.
Oh, okay.
Scotiabank's online banking is convenient and safe. We never take a break from serving you. Scotiabank, discover what's possible.
Tempt your taste buds at the Roberts Nifka Culinary Arena and Marketplace in association with Caribbean Cuisine at the Garfield Sobers Gymnasium from Friday, November 13th to Sunday, November 15th from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. See some of the top mixologists battle it out in Stir It Up, the exciting mixology competition on Friday 13th. Sample dishes from the highly anticipated Celebrity Showcase with appearances by Classic, Adila Payne, Ian Gill, and Admiral Nelson to name a few. And Watch the Professional Cook-Off and the Best Bajan Cook semifinals on Saturday 14, Sunday 15. Feast at Chef Edie's sumptuous buffet and see who will be crowned in the finals of the Professional Cook-Off and Best Bajan Cook competition. Adult tickets $10 and children under 12 free. Tickets are available from the National Cultural Foundation, A&B Sounds Sheraton, CS Pharmacy, Warren's Ticket Center, Emerald City Supermarket, L&M Touch of Class, and TicketPal.com. Visit www.ncf.bb for more details.
FAS 7-Star and Hennessy, celebrating 250 years in association with Flow, presents Hennessy Artistry. Saturday, December 5th, Kensington Oval, showtime 9 p.m. Featuring international superstars Keisha Cole, Hennessy, never stop, never settle.
Fortress fund managers have again expressed concern about the negative impact of the new budget measure that removes tax incentives for pension and retirement plans. Investment manager with Fortress, Roger Cave, made the comment at the start of Fortress' 6th annual investment forum held at the Frank Collmer Hall.
In the June budget, the Minister of Finance eliminated the tax allowances for pensions and RSPs. We have lobbied that. There's been a lot of comment. We've received so many different emails and different things from people, and it really, we think, is a backwards step.
To emphasize his point, Mr. Cave read an assessment of the impact to the audience. He said it was submitted to Fortress by someone with experience in financial and emerging markets.
I'll quote what he sent, and he said, pension contributions are deferred income in that the tax on that income is not received but is put into a pension fund, and then to tax it again when the pension is drawn is not only grossly unfair but makes pensions an extremely unattractive form of saving. It is socially irresponsible of a government elected to support working people to discourage them from saving for their old age in well-established and regulated long-term schemes, i.e. pension plans.
Chief Executive Officer of the National Cultural Foundation, Cranston Brown, believes Barbados young musicians will benefit significantly from the 2nd annual Classical Pops Festival. That event is slated for the Apes Hill Club in St. James on December 11th and 12th. He says exposure to such a world stage can only help them to be more innovative and creative. And Mr. Brown made the remarks at the launch of that festival.
It's going to be bigger, better this year. I wish Classical Pops all the best, and I hope that we have a really great season this year. And next year we're looking forward to bigger things. We all know that's our 50th anniversary. I was just telling him that we have some special things planned for the Classical Pops next year.
And construction magnate Sir Charles Williams says he's looking forward to the event and is hoping it can expand and be put on the level to which they have tried with polo in terms of promoting the island.
I think everybody knows that polo is my sport, but I enjoy the theatre, and I really enjoyed it last time. So I want you to carry it where polo is.
And that event is being organized by Spring LLC, a music marketing company out of New York, which has 60 years experience in the industry. Member of Parliament for the City of Bridgetown, Lieutenant Colonel Jeffrey Bostick, is encouraging Barbadians to continue to donate despite the difficult times. The message came during the Salvation Army's Kettle Appeal launching ceremony held in Jubilee Gardens. He says Barbadians must remember there are always people who are less fortunate.
I want to urge my fellow Barbadians to really contribute to this cause. Yes, we are living in some difficult times, but I strongly believe that it is during difficult times that men and women of goodwill come to the fore. And no matter what our circumstances are in this life, there are always people who are less fortunate than we are.
and Director of Corporate and Commercial Banking at Scotiabank, Victor Boyce, says Scotiabank continues to see the importance of corporate citizenship.
This is a time for enterprise with empathy, for capitalism with a conscience. It cannot be enough for companies just to make money. We know that our businesses do not exist in a vacuum. They exist in our society. And if our society is strong, it will redound to our benefit. But if there's need that goes unheeded, it will make itself noticed in one way or another.
The Anglican Church is looking at the issue of rising violence not only in Barbados but across the Caribbean at its upcoming regional provincial synod. Bishop of Barbados and Archbishop of the West Indies, the Most Reverend Dr. John Holder, says there is a need to look at what is causing an upsurge in violence. He says a lot of it has to do with how children now are being raised. Dr. Holder says the church will be trying to recapture and educate the minds and attitudes of children.
The church has taught for many years, thousands of years, this conviction about forgiving the son, turning the other cheek. And these are not simply pious things somewhere in the sky. They are real things about real relationships. Because if we do not employ these things, we end up in terrible acts of violence.
Dr. Holder, who was speaking at a press conference this afternoon, says there's also a need for schools to re-establish a relationship with neighboring churches.
For some reason, there has been that kind of separation between the church in the local setting, the village setting sometimes, and the neighboring school. Even to the point of taking off the saint name and putting another name on it. Right. And all of these things are coming back to haunt us.
The first performance of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory by the Ursuline Convent School will be for the community. Producer and director of the show and theater arts teacher Rashida Hardin says the production is a means of giving back under the theme of Charity Night. She says children's homes under the Ministry of Education and senior citizens' homes will be able to experience the talent of 80 students on November the 27th. She's hoping the students will take this opportunity to understand the necessary values. And she was speaking at the launch of the event where T-shirt sponsor Saul presented a donation to the two lead actors, Charlie and Willy Wonka, as representatives of the creative team.
We learn how parents kind of allow children to do what they want, or how parents kind of tell their kids, you know, all we need is ourselves and love. And even though Charlie's family doesn't really have that much as others have, they still win at the end. But they win not because of what they have, but because they appreciate what they don't have and value each other more so than the riches and goals of the world.
Well, more support is needed from parents of students of the recently founded St. Francis School, and this concern is from Head of Department Melza Archibald.
They're asking questions like, you know, why isn't it done this way? And I used to do this in my time in school and so on, and having to be explaining all the time, yes, that is true, but we are doing something different, and we want to make a change in the system because we see where the loopholes are and we want to fill those. So from that point of view, I need to get a further buy-in.
Mr. Archibald says parents must recognize St. Francis is offering a different curriculum which focuses on values alongside the academics. He says this approach is a means to fill in the loopholes in the education system with the aim of producing a more well-rounded student who will be fully functional in their communities.
We cover the same subjects, the same skills that you would in a traditional school, but it's just that we are doing it from a point of view of projects which will relate to life as it is, so that if you are learning your English, it's not just a question of learning some grammar are learning how to paraphrase or how to parse or to analyze. It is with a view to using it in your society.
And still to come, a look at some of the stories making headlines across our region. But first, we want to hear from you on this question. Should government re-examine its decision to cut the number of glucose strips it offers diabetics? Text yes or no to short code 8111. The result at the end of the news. And you can also follow us on Twitter at CBC_newsroom and on our Facebook page, CBC News Barbados.
My baby. That's what we have to do.
You are a romantic.
I have diabetes, and I'm still the same.
Lucerna. Thanks to its benefits that help control my blood sugar spikes and provides energy. Drinking it daily.
Lucerna, keep being you.
You asked for it.